A good Friday evening, everyone. I'm Meteorologist Joe Murgo. Friday usually means I get to geek out and talk a little bit about the longer range weather forecast. So let's get right to it. Let's talk about the month of October so far. And yes, I'm a Weather Bell subscriber, and that's where I get a lot of the information for you. One of the good websites to get if you're really, like me, a bit of a weather geek and want to look a little more in depth at some things. All right, so what's going on here? We do have the month of October so far in the eastern United States has been above average. We know that. It started off record warm, but we've been changing. And I do think we're going to see this drift, and by the end of the month, a little closer to average, but still warm in the east. But look at that cold in the middle of the nation. All right, let's do a little research here and make some comparisons to past years, maybe for a little bit of our wintercast. Last year, a different story. Widespread warmth through the eastern two-thirds of the nation, and then you're seeing the cold in the Pacific Northwest. Same for 2016, so nothing like those past 2 years. 2015, most of the nation warm except for the east. 2014, most of the nation warm except for the Great Lakes states. All right, well, now we'll go down to 2013. We do have a lot more colder, so some similarities, but not quite as warm. Here we go, 18. You notice the warmth in the southeast. 13, not quite as warm, but there's a little bit of similarity there, a little bit. I'll have to, again, these are the things I look at. I'm actually studying the weather as I'm talking to you. All right, and then 2012, some cold in the middle of the nation, not as impressive. 2011, almost a flip of what we've had this year. And then 2010, not much similarity. 2009 was cold month of October. A lot of cold in the middle of the nation, like what we have now, but even colder, and the southeast not as. So like 2009, if you added a few degrees across the nation, would be kind of close to where we had for this year. 2008, widespread cool. 2007, a lot of warmth in the east, but the cold shifted farther to the west. 2006, look at that, cold across the northern United States. 2005, again, a lot of warmth in the eastern half of the United States. Not much similarity on 2004. 2003, kind of a flip of what we had this year. Warm in the Central Plains and cool in the east. And then 2002, a little cooler, but almost a little bit of a similar pattern. So you're noticing some things as I'm looking here, and I'm highlighting a couple of years. And I'm going to go back even farther. You know, this one, maybe not as cool, but there's some similarities to 98. Then we go back. That's kind of a opposite of 1996, opposite of what we had this year. All right. So, you know, each year has its own identification. That was October so far. Let's go ahead and take a look at your upper air pattern. This is the European. We have this weekend, strong trough moving on through. But if you notice, the jet stream kind of flat over here. So I'm not expecting severe cold to move on in, but I'm expecting it to be chilly as we head on through the weekend. We have, this moves on out. Another system, another shortwave moves through Sunday night into Monday, and that sharpens up the trough, and we are a little chilly Monday. But then look at this trough swinging through the western United States right there. And usually that means, let me get back there, when it does so, the ridge pops into the east. So I'm expecting the beginning of November to have a ridge trying to pop into the eastern United States. And that trough kind of stays in the middle of the United States, but we'll get some pieces of the cool as we head on into the early part of November. Wow, the one thing that is pretty constant. Now, I will tell you, to me, the flow kind of goes like this into the middle of the nation. There's not much bleeding from the Arctic, so it's not going to be extreme Arctic cold, but it's going to be chilly in the middle of the United States. So that's something I'm keeping an eye on and putting together ideas for my wintercast and what's going to be coming our way. So here we go with our weather for the weekend. We have one low pressure system that is located back over the Ohio Valley states. This is Willa. This is a storm system that's going to be developing, and yeah, a lot of people are, you know, sitting there talking all about nor'easter, and you know, it is going to blow up across the coastline, but not as big of a storm for us here in Pennsylvania. What it's going to do is it's going to give us a chilly rainfall as we have a northeasterly flow. What's happening is we kind of have this air bleeding into the area with the rain, and that's what's going to make it a chilly rainfall through the day on Saturday. And once that low gets north of our latitude, which this is Saturday evening, the low up just north of us. Once that happens, winds go out of the west, and that's when I think we taper off to just some showers and some drizzle, maybe even a flurry Saturday night to early Sunday. There's another short wave that moves through Sunday night to Monday morning, enhances the chilliness Monday night, and then as we head on into next week, here we go, Tuesday evening, high to our south, southwesterly flow, warmer air coming our way. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at the, and again, this is European model temperature anomalies. We'll start off here in the short range. There's Saturday afternoon. Yeah, we know it's going to be chilly with the rain. There is Sunday afternoon, still chilly. Monday afternoon, still quite chilly, but then we'll go to Tuesday, not as chilly. This is Tuesday night. There's Wednesday afternoon. Look at that. Rebounds. And then Thursday back to near average. So we are, but if you notice, there is a fair amount of cool in the middle of the nation, especially in the south central United States. But as I mentioned, you're not getting, you're going to have cool air, but you're not getting that cool coming all the way straight down. So it's not going to be extreme cool, but it's going to be cool. All right, real quickly, we'll take a look at the GFS. Very similar. There's the storm system off the coastline. Once it takes it a little bit to the east and then cuts it north of us. Once the low goes to our north, once again, we'll go down to some showers. There's the second short wave that moves through Sunday night, enhances the chilly air on Monday. Snow lovers, you're not going to see much out of this. I know there's a lot of several times the internet rumors have gone, but you're not going to see much. Another front moves through on Wednesday with the GFS. It's a little more progressive and then kind of leaves us in a battle zone with some more rainfall. And yeah, it does look like we're going to have another round of mild rainfall as we head into the beginning of November. All right, talking long for today, but let's go ahead and take a look at some of the longer range indices. Here's the North Atlantic oscillation. Usually we have more of a progressive pattern when we get the, so the black line's where we were, and we're in that negative NAO right now, and we have the storminess going on. We have this big storm. But if you notice, it's trending back toward positive, and I do think we get ourselves into more of a progressive weather pattern. The PNA, when it's up above, the black line is above the zero, that means there's a ridge in the west and a trough in the east. Hey, what do you know? Ridge in the west, trough in the east, but then we're seeing it trend negative. So I do see this weather pattern going to a warmer one as we head into next week. Arctic oscillation. All right, interesting thing about the Arctic oscillation, here we go. When it's in a negative phase, we get more amplitude and more higher pressure over the Arctic and more into the mid-latitudes. When it's in a negative phase, positive phase, that's when the jet stream's more west to east. So if you notice, the Arctic oscillation forecast to go more toward the positive, neutral to positive, which means we're going to be in a more progressive weather pattern. All right, snow cover, something else we look during the winter months. This is the northern hemisphere snow cover. Red line is this year, green line's last year. We're running right near to slightly below where we were last year. This is all the northern hemisphere. So where are some places we look? We look toward Eurasia. It is near decadal lows, and when there has been some correlation, Dr. Judah Cohn has done a lot of research on this. When you get a lot of snow cover in Eurasia, the polar vortex tends to get disturbed a little bit more in the winter season and disperses cold air to the mid-latitudes. It's really low this year. So the polar vortex may be stronger this year, and you may say, ooh, polar vortex stronger. Well, stronger over the pole means less warmth coming our way. And as I zoom on in, if you notice, it's even taken a little, it's pretty low, and it's taken a little dip in a little bit more. You know, it's that time of the year. Siberia is usually getting more snow cover. The North America, We had a really fast start to the snow season in Canada, but leveling off, it'll be interesting. Last year, we did the same thing. We're almost on top of last year, and then we took off again, so it'll be interesting to see what happens. All right. Cold rainfall tonight into tomorrow. I don't think major flooding concerns, but keep an eye on the roads because there will be some wet leaves, and that can make roads slick just from the wet leaves on the road. They can. There's been accidents because of that before, and there'll be areas of fog tonight into Saturday. So if you're heading out and about in the morning, please be careful. All right. See you on WTAJ News at 11.